Today we're going to test your knowledge. We're going to talk about 10 cars only the most expert in the automotive world would recognize. We start with a gem that marked a turning point in the history of the Japanese automotive industry, the Toyota 2000 GT. By the late 60s, Japan still didn't have a notably strong presence in the sports car market. But everything changed when Toyota, in collaboration with Yamaha, introduced the 2000 GT in 1967. This car was a statement of intent. Japan could compete with giants like Porsche, Ferrari, and Jaguar. The 2000 GT stood out not only for its design, clearly inspired by European cars, but also for its advanced engineering for the time. Under the hood, it hit a 2.0-liter inline six-cylinder engine, with dual overhead camshafts and a power output of up to 150 horsepower. Although these figures may seem modest today, at the time were impressive for a Japanese car. The 2000 GT. It was innovative in many ways. It was one of the few Japanese cars with a monocoque chassis, which gave it incredible rigidity, exceptional structure. It also had disc brakes on all four wheels and independent suspension, technology that put it on par with the most advanced European sports cars. Did you know that this car even had its shining moment in Hollywood? It appeared in the James Bond movie, You Only Live Twice, 1967. However, since it was a fixed-roof sports car, the producers asked Toyota to make a convertible version, which they did exclusively for the movie. Today, the Toyota 2000 GT is considered one of the most important cars in Japan's history. Only 351 units were produced, which makes it an extremely valuable collector's item. Some examples have reached prices of over $1 million at auctions. Something unthinkable for a Japanese car decades ago. So, if you recognize this model, there's no doubt about it, you're a true connoisseur. Now tell me, did you know all this about the Toyota 2000 GT? Leave me your comment, and while you do that, let's move on to another equally special car. Let's continue with another vehicle that only true connoisseurs will recognize. The Mazda Cosmo Sport 110S. A car that marked a milestone in automotive history by incorporating one of the most innovative and complex engines of its time, the Wankel rotary engine. Mazda introduced this model in 1967, the same year as the Toyota 2000 GT, but with a completely different approach. While other brands focused on conventional engines, Mazda decided to take a risk with a technology that promised power and smoothness in a more compact package. Compact and lightweight, the heart of the Cosmo Sport was a twin-rotor rotary engine with a combined capacity of 982 cubic centimeters, producing 110 horsepower. In its initial version, although this number may seem small today, the compact and lightweight design of the engine, it gave the car an excellent power-to-weight ratio, making it fun to drive and highly agile. The design of the Cosmo Sport didn't go unnoticed. Its lines were sleek and futuristic, with details that looked like they were taken straight from a spaceship. The aerospace inspiration was no coincidence, as Mazda wanted to highlight the innovation of its engine with a design that broke the mold. The name Cosmo also had a special meaning. In the late 1960s, the world was obsessed with space exploration, and Mazda wanted to reflect that futuristic, visionary spirit in its first sports car. Despite its revolutionary technology, the Mazda Cosmo Sport was a limited production model. Only 1,176 units were made, which makes it one of the rarest and most sought-after cars for collectors. This model not only proved that the Wankel engine was viable, but it also laid the groundwork for other iconic Mazda cars, like the RX-7 and RX-8. A fun fact, the Cosmo Sport was used by Mazda to compete in international races, including the 84 Hours of Nürburgring in 1968. Even though it didn't win, it showcased the durability and potential of rotary engines, solidifying Mazda as the manufacturer that bet on innovation instead of following conventional trends. Today, the Mazda Cosmo Sport 110s is more than just a car. It's a symbol of bravery, of a brand that wasn't afraid to think differently. If you recognize it when you see it, then you can be sure that your car knowledge is on another level. What do you think? This model? Would you dare to drive a car with a rotary engine? Tell me in the comments, because now we move on to another equally exclusive vehicle. Our next car is a true legend in the world of motorsport. And if you recognize it, you're in the elite of car enthusiasts. We're talking about the Lancia Stratos HF, a vehicle that forever changed the history of rallying and is still considered a historic car. One of the best competition cars ever created. The Lancia Stratos HF was born in the 70s as a machine specifically designed to win in the World Rally Championships. Its groundbreaking design and completely functional approach made it the first car conceived from the ground up with a single goal: to dominate rally competitions. The design of the Stratos was the work of Bertone, and its fiberglass body was not only eye-catching but also extremely lightweight. Its triangular and compact shape offered great maneuverability, something essential for facing adversaries, the rough terrains of the rallies. However, the most impressive part was under its hood, a 2.4-liter V6 engine from the Ferrari Dino. This engine gave it a power of 190 horsepower in its street version, but in the competition versions it could exceed 300 horsepower. Thanks to its low weight and powerful engine, the Stratos was explosive both on straightaways and in tight corners. The Stratos HF debuted in the World Rally Championship in 1974 and quickly showed its superiority, winning the championship that same year, and repeating the feat in 1975 and 1976. His dominance was such that even today, more than 40 years later, it is still remembered as the undisputed king of rallies. Another aspect that makes Lancia Stratos so special is its exclusivity. To homologate the car for competition, Lancia manufactured only 492 units of the street version, making it a collector's item, plus its radical design and heritage. Ferrari has secured its place in history as one of the most iconic cars ever created. In 2000, a Stratos-inspired prototype was introduced. In 2010, it never reached mass production. It was a tribute that showed the lasting impact of this vehicle on automotive culture. If you recognize the Lancia Stratos HF, there is no doubt you are a true car expert. What do you think of this rally monster? Let me know as we get ready for the next model, one that will surprise you too. The next car on our list is a rare combination of European design and American power. We're talking about the De Tomaso Pantera, a supercar that, if you recognize it, shows you have car knowledge on another level. The De Tomaso Pantera was introduced in 1971 by the Italian brand De Tomaso, founded by Argentine Alejandro De Tomaso. This car was born with the goal of competing against giants like Ferrari and Lamborghini, but with a twist, using an American engine to combine performance and affordability. The heart of the Pantera was an engine, 5.8-liter Ford Cleveland V8 liters, capable of producing between 330 and 350 horsepower in its initial version. This engine not only gave it brutal acceleration, but also simplified maintenance, and it made it more affordable than its Italian rivals, something that was highly valued in the American market. The design of the Pantera was aggressive and futuristic, with angular lines and a low stance. Its steel body and rear mid-engine layout gave it great balance, putting it at the top of the list. One of the reasons the Pantera is so special is its legacy as a supercar for the masses. Thanks to a collaboration with Ford, the Panther was sold at Lincoln Mercury dealerships in the United States, which made it more accessible for exotic car enthusiasts. However, its limited production and exclusivity secured its place as a coveted item for collectors. Among the most interesting anecdotes about the Pantera is the story of Elvis Presley, who owned one of these cars. Illustrated his Panther wasn't unique, the Panther stopped working. Elvis pulled out his gun and shot the steering wheel. Despite the incident, the car continued to run, which reflects passion it inspires and the strength of its character. The production of the De Tomaso Pantera lasted for more than 2 decades, with different versions and updates that kept its spirit alive. In total, about 7,200 units were produced, which makes it one of the most successful models from the De Tomaso brand. Today, the Panther is prized for its unique blend of Italian design and American muscle, a mix that has rarely been replicated again. If you recognize this model, there is no doubt that your passion for cars goes beyond the conventional. Our next car is an icon that proved that it is not always needed. You need a powerful engine to be a champion. If you recognize the Alpine A110, you're on the level of true automotive history lovers. Launched in 1962 by the French manufacturer Alpine, the A110 quickly became a benchmark in the world of motorsports, especially in rallies. This lightweight coupe was designed by Jean Ridoulet, a visionary who firmly believed in the motto, "Less is more." The Alpine A110 stood out for its fiberglass construction mounted on a tubular chassis. This innovative approach allowed the car to weigh an incredibly light 600 kilograms. That lightness, combined with its rear-engine, rear-wheel drive configuration, gave it precise and agile handling, perfect for the winding roads of rallies. The heart of the A110 had a Renault engine, with displacements of 1.1 to 1.6 liters, and 1.6 liters throughout its production. Even though the power ranged from 95 to 140 horsepower, the car's low weight allowed it to compete head-to-head with much more powerful rivals. The peak of the Alpine A110's success came in 1973 when it won the World Rally Championship, the first in the history of the championship. At that time, it surpassed legendary brands like Porsche, Lancia, and Ford, establishing itself as the dominant vehicle of the era. But the Alpine A110 wasn't just a champion on the tracks. Its sleek and minimalist design also made it a coveted car among enthusiasts. Its smooth lines and distinctive front, with rounded double headlights, made it stand out both on the streets and in competitions. Over the years, the A110 has earned an almost mythical status. The few units that were produced, combined with its success in rallies, have made it an extremely valuable car for collectors. Additionally, Renault revived the model in 2017 with a modern version that pays homage to the original design. but with cutting-edge technology and a focus on lightness and dynamic handling. Recognizing the Alpine A110 is like having a passport to the exclusive club of automotive connoisseurs. This car is a living proof that strategy, engineering, and design can be a great example for the economy. They can surpass simple brute force. The next car on our list is an untamed beast that looks more like a spaceship than a land vehicle. If you recognize the TVR Zagaris, you're a true connoisseur of the automotive world and you know how to appreciate the most radical cars. The TVR Zagaris was introduced in 2003 by the British brand TVR, known for its extravagant designs and focus on pure driving. This model, in particular, represents the pinnacle of that philosophy, being one of the most extreme and unique cars ever. The first thing that catches your eye about the Zagaris is its design. Its body, made of fiberglass, is full of curves and unusual details, like the asymmetrical air vents and the openings on the roof and sides, designed to improve aerodynamics and cooling. Every inch of the Zagaris screams aggression and uniqueness, making it a true spectacle, a spectacle on wheels. Under its hood lies a 4.0-liter, inline six-cylinder engine, liters designed by TVR, that produces an impressive 406 horsepower. This engine, combined with a weight of just 1,078 kilograms, allows it to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers diagonal bar H in just over 4 seconds. However, power is not the only thing that makes the Zagaris special. Its handling, without electronic aids like traction control or ABS, makes it a challenging car, reserved for true drivers. One fascinating feature of the TVR Zagaris is its exclusivity. The production of this model was extremely limited, with fewer than 200 units produced, which makes it a unicorn in the automotive world. Owning one is not just a luxury, but a statement of passion for cars in their purest form. The Zagaris also has a fearsome reputation for its wild on-road behavior. With no electronic assistance and a chassis configured to maximize response, this car demands the driver's full attention. It's a visceral experience, almost like driving a race car that's street legal. Although TVR has had a troubled history as a brand, with financial ups and downs and changes in management, the legacy of the Zagaris lives on in the hearts of enthusiasts. It's a reminder that cars are not just machines, but also works of art and pure emotion. Now we move on to a car that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, and only true car enthusiasts would be able to identify it, the Vector W.8. This supercar was created in the United States in the late 1980s. It was a bold attempt to compete with the best European cars of the time. But with a completely futuristic approach, the Vector W8 was designed and produced by Vector Aeromotive Corporation, led by Gerald Weihard, who wanted to build a car that combined cutting-edge technology with revolutionary design. And boy, did they succeed. This model looked more like a plane than a car, thanks to its angular design, aerodynamic lines, and an interior packed with digital screens inspired by aircraft cockpits. Under the hood, the Vector W8 was powered by a 6.0-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, liters derived from Chevrolet technology. This monster generated 625 horsepower in its standard version and could exceed 720 horsepower with power tweaks. Specific tweaks, these numbers were impressive for their time, allowing it to reach a top speed of over 350 kilometers per hour and accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers/h in less than 4 seconds. The interior of the W8 was just as spectacular. It included a completely customized digital dashboard, buttons and controls that looked like they came straight out of a spaceship, and high-quality materials like leather, aluminum, and carbon fiber. It was a car designed to impress both inside and out. Despite its impressive performance and design, the Vector W8 didn't have mass production. Only 19 units were produced between 1989 and 1993. This makes it an extremely rare and sought-after car among collectors. Its exclusivity and innovative approach have kept it as a cult icon in the automotive world. The Vector W8 is proof that ingenuity and ambition know no bounds. Couldn't stay on the market. This model remains a testament to the American dream applied to the world of supercars. If you're a true car enthusiast, the Shelby Cobra 427 is a collector's piece that makes you feel alive. This model is synonymous with pure power, classic design, and a legacy that lives on the track, and it shows. If you recognize the Shelby Cobra 427, you know we're talking about one of the most iconic cars in automotive history. The Shelby Cobra was created by the legendary driver and entrepreneur Carroll Shelby in the 1960s. The 1960s, even though there are different versions of the Cobra, the Shelby Cobra 427 is the most iconic, featuring a 7.0-liter V8 engine. Liters, capable of generating around 485 horsepower in its production version, and up to 600 horsepower in competition versions. This car was not just a dream on wheels, but a true racing beast. What made the Cobra 427 unique wasn't just its engine, but it's their incredible power-to-weight ratio. With a weight of just 1,000 kilograms, the combination of such a powerful engine with a lightweight chassis, it made it an impressive speed machine. This car could go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 4 seconds, which was almost 1,000,000 kilograms, unimaginable for its time. Besides its performance, the design of the Cobra 427 is pure art. Its aluminum body, aerodynamic lines, and the details of the headlights make it one of the most beautiful cars ever created. The combination of luxury, power, and quality is a great benefit, and elegance in its design has made it a timeless icon in the world. Automotive. Although the Cobra 427 was designed primarily for racing, models were also built for civilian use. These cars, while more accessible than their racing counterparts, still kept the essence of high-performance models. Over the years, the original Cobra 427 models have appreciated enormously in value on the market, making them coveted collector's items. In the world of classic sports cars, few models pack as much punch as the Cobra. Shelby charges 427. Recognizing this is an indication that you not only know the most famous cars, but that you understand the heart of motorsport history. If there's a car that represents the essence of Ferrari at its peak, it's the Ferrari F40. A car that, when mentioned, makes true motorsport fans light up. Because this model is an emblem of power, exclusivity, and a timeless design that continues to be admired even decades after its release. If you recognize the Ferrari F40, then you know you're facing a legend. The Ferrari F40 was launched in 1987 to commemorate the brand's 40th anniversary. It was the last model personally approved by Enzo Ferrari before his death. That gives it a special touch. Ferrari wanted to create the fastest, most high-tech, and most impressive car in the world, and they definitely succeeded. Equipped with a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, the F40 produced 478 horsepower, allowing it to reach a top speed of 324 kilometers per hour. An impressive figure for its time. But the F40 isn't just fast. It's also an extremely lightweight car, weighing in at just 1,100 kilograms thanks to the extensive use of materials like carbon fiber and Kevlar. This focus on lightness and aerodynamics made the F40 incredibly agile and maneuverable, even at high speeds, offering a high-quality experience. It's a driving experience that only true enthusiasts can understand. The design of the Ferrari F40 is unmistakable. Its body, with its aggressive lines and the huge rear wing, gave it an imposing presence. Every detail of its exterior and interior was designed to maximize performance and aerodynamics. Even the interiors were minimalist, with carbon fiber panels and racing seats, reflecting the F40's focus on the pure driving experience. There were no unnecessary luxuries. Just the essence of high-performance motorsport. 1,315 F40s made. This makes it an extremely rare piece, highly sought after by collectors all over the world. Even though more than 30 years have passed since its launch, the F40 remains a benchmark in the history of sports cars. And it's considered by many to be one of the best Ferraris ever made. If there's a car that marked a turning point in the history of sports cars, it's the Lamborghini Miura. This model is considered by many to be the first modern supercar, and if you recognize it, it's because you truly understand the evolution of luxury sports cars. Why is it so special? Join me in discovering it. The Lamborghini Miura was introduced in 1966 and quickly became the icon of the Italian brand. With its revolutionary design, created by the famous designer Marcello Gandini, for Bertone, and its 3.9-liter V12 engine, which produced 350 horsepower, the Miura was not only a fast car, but also a work of art in motion. It was the perfect blend of beauty, power, and advanced technology for its time. The Miura not only broke the limits of what could be done in terms of performance, but also in terms of design. Its body was so attractive that many consider it one of the most beautiful cars ever created. The most impressive thing about the Miura was its engine, which was located in a central position. A setup that's common in supercars today, but back then, it was something completely new. This configuration improved weight distribution, making it more agile and stable at high speeds. A key feature for any high-performance sports car. In terms of performance, the Lamborghini Miura was capable of reaching 280 kilometers per hour, which made it one of the fastest cars of its time. This speed, combined with its unmistakable sound and stunning aesthetics, made it the dream car for car enthusiasts and collectors. Everyone, the Miura also had an impact on the automotive industry beyond Lamborghini. With it, the brand's reputation as a manufacturer of luxury and high-performance cars was cemented, and the Miura opened the doors for other manufacturers to begin creating cars with similar characteristics in terms of design and technology. Only 764 units of the Lamborghini Miura were produced between 1966 and 1973, which makes it a rare and coveted piece, with a high value in the classic car market. To this day, the Miura remains one of the most admired and respected cars in the history of sports cars. Recognizing the Lamborghini Miura is a sign that you understand how a car can be so much more than just a machine. It's a symbol of innovation, luxury, and a paradigm shift in the automotive world.